Can I ask you one thing?
Yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You understand English, I understand English, people understand English. When you put ceasing support, this means what?
I'm trying to go back to what we have, an issue we have here in Pakistan that we discuss with your government all the time. And it's not ceasing support for terrorist elements. Do you really think, because I don't think most people do, and certainly most Americans don't, that ISI is out there supporting these terrorists? Do you think ISI and the Pakistani military are crazy? They don't want to feed these terrorist elements within Pakistan, and we don't think so either.
So why this pause here?
Because there may be people who don't understand that. This may have been
in the U.S. Senate.
Well, in the U.S. Congress, this may have been an issue in the past. Obviously, and we'll write a report, and we will take care of this issue. Again, I am confident that when we sit down and talk to people, we can explain the elements of this bill.
I teach U.S. Constitution to university, and I know about the U.S. Constitution, probably not as much as you, but the U.S. bill cannot be passed without reflection. It is a democracy. It has to be debated. It has to be taken into serious consideration. You are telling me that the U.S. Senate, many of the elements, many of the senators, they were not aware of it and they've just put this clause into it?
I don't know. Of course, the authors and the conference committee knew this clause was there. But yes, you'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised about how few people have actually read the bill who voted for it. And it passed, again, most people in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee passed this bill unanimously. It passed the floor unanimously. There was a huge interest in having a long-term relationship with Pakistan instead of just these year-by-year increments. And so I think our senators and congressmen, this is now a bill from both houses, would be very surprised at the reaction here.
Madam Ambassador, is there any chance that if you are considering that many of the senators have voted just without knowing the real picture of Pakistan, is there any possibility that probably this very clause will be eliminated from the bill?
The bill is essentially a done deal, as we say. And our legislative process is so complicated that it would be very difficult to send the bill back to Congress. It's taken a year to get this passed. And again, most Americans on the Hill and in the administration see this as a very considerable victory.
It would be a victory for US. I don't know how would I interpret it over here in Pakistan. If this clause stands, whether the senators are aware of it or not, whether what you are saying in this interview, it doesn't make any difference. If this clause stands in the US financial bill, it implies, it states in a statement that the ISI and the Pakistan military is involved in sponsoring terrorism. They should stop it.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. What it requires is a report within the U.S. government. But again, let's focus on the bigger picture here, which is the commitment on our behalf to the Pakistani people.
We'll come on that. But this is the ceasing support.
This is
the English, Vishal. You give me an interpretation of that. This is
I've read the bill now at this point many times. But again, let's sort of get past this and focus on the broader picture here. We'll sit down with political parties. Obviously, again, as I say, we've done an inadequate job and explain to them the bigger picture here.
Well, you haven't given my answer to my question, but anyhow, I'll move forward to it because I don't want to waste time on this very particular question. Your Section 302 monitoring report says an assessment of the extent to which the government of Pakistan effective civilian control of the military, including oversighting improving chain of command in Pakistan military, promotion for senior military leaders. We have a setup over here. Don't you think that you have caused a trouble for this civilian government, and you have also put yourself into the internal mechanisms of Pakistan military? Why you need to put this over there in this file?
Well, let me back up a minute. Yes, I think that's probably a mistake, and I think people in our military would see that as a mistake because they have a very specific, for instance, promotion system within the U.S. military, and while it goes to our Congress and it is blessed by our administration, it's extraordinarily rare for our civilians to interfere in the military promotion process. I think what the drafters of that portion of the bill we're trying to do will respond to the enormous concerns and frankly the deteriorating image of the United States because of our support for President Musharraf. So they were trying to support, obviously rather inadvertently, civilian control of the military, which we think is an enormously important structural issue, and democracies are ultimately better strategic partners for the United States. So I do think, I can see why people are offended by that, and I can certainly see why the military is offended by that. But I think the intention was well-meaning. It was poorly written and poorly drafted.
Do you think it's a mistake?
I think it could have been done in much more sensitive fashion.